I was just listening to the Microsoft conference call where the chief financial officer, Amy Hood, was talking about a, quote, fantastic holiday season ahead when it comes to selling the Surface device and I guess the new Xbox.
That's right.
Do you buy that?
I do. You know, there are two things that are going on. On the Surface side, they're finally putting out some Surface products that are affordable. You know, it's no longer $500 and up. They've got some price points now that are down to $300, and we're seeing lower price points for that product category. So they have a reason to be bullish there because it's more affordable. In order to compete with Apple and some of the other offerings out there that are Google-based, they need to have products that are at lower price points. On the Xbox side, they're clearly seeing a lot of interest in this Xbox One. They're seeing strong pre-orders through all the various channels. And so I actually do believe them. But I agree with you. They are very bullish on the December quarter.
That is the consumer side of the business. But when it comes to the actual biggest pie for revenue for Microsoft, it's the business that includes server products and Microsoft Office. And they sound pretty optimistic there because they're getting people to sign up for long-term commitments. Is that your takeaway?
It is. But, you know, the main thing they said right out of the gate on the call was that they're seeing the PC business stabilize. They're seeing stabilization there. That's not something we've heard from Microsoft or from that industry for a long time. So, and I think a lot of it is coming from the enterprise. It's certainly not coming from the consumer side. So they are seeing, you know, enterprise customers who are signing up for multi-year deals. But just to hear them say stabilization in the PC side is a big deal. They're obviously seeing some strength in the server side. They're seeing strength in their cloud offerings. But across the board, you know, very bullish on what they're seeing currently and on their outlook for the Q4.
So let's compare the Microsoft story to the Amazon story. Amazon, the company that can come out with the results and tell us that in its next quarter it might make $500 million, it might lose $500 million, and investors get excited. What's the deal?
You know what? Amazon does a great job at conveying to the street that it's good to lose money near term for a longer-term payoff. You know, one of the things they did focus on their call that I did hear was that they saw millions of new additions to their Amazon Prime video service. Now, they don't often give out a lot of metrics, so it's great to hear them actually quantify, to some degree, what some of these investments are going towards. You know, they've been losing money. The big story right now is they lost a little less at 9 cents than the street had estimated. But you know, they're doing a great job of bringing in users both to their Prime platform and as well as to these Kindle devices. Even if there's some big costs, you know, right now they're causing them to lose money.
Well, for those watching us on television, we were just showing some video of people stacking those boxes at the Amazon warehouses. What I've found really fascinating, this is a company that at the end of the quarter had 109,000 plus employees. At the same time last year, they had roughly 81,000. This Amazon workforce is exploding, even though, you know, obviously some of these workers are part-time workers.
It is, and it's exploding because they're moving into so many different areas of business. You know, they have this Amazon Fresh now, where you can now order your groceries. They've obviously added a lot more fulfillment centers in the recent years so that you can get that 2-day Prime shipping to you from anywhere in the country. They've also seen some international growth. They did touch on that in their earnings release, that they're seeing some strength here, but they are making some headway in international markets right now. And I think that's still a nascent area for them and where a lot of, you know, growth can come from in the future.
All right, before we go, since you do cover both Microsoft and Amazon, which one do you think is the better investment bet?
You know what? I think right now Microsoft is, even though a lot of people are very bearish about the Nokia acquisition, I think it's going to be a great thing for them long term to control the complete hardware to software experience. And I think that right now, I think there's just a lot of negative sentiment around that acquisition, but I think that it's going to be a smart bet longer term, and it's going to allow them to compete more closely with the likes of Google, who's now also doing their own hardware, and Samsung, who does their own hardware and software as well. But that's a great acquisition. Once it closes, we'll get the details in Q1 of what that means in the first quarter of 2014. But I think Microsoft for that reason.